Okay, so each example, we're just kind of adding on to our equations a little bit. Now we're going to solve equations that are of the form ax squared plus b, so some number equals c. Here's what this equation might look like. I am just going to rewrite this so I can work with it. We have 3x squared minus 5 equals 22. So how can we solve this? Well, I do want to keep pointing out that we have the x squared term, but see how there are no other x's in the equation? When you have an equation like this, this is when you can solve using square roots because you are able to isolate your x squared. So that is our first step. Let's isolate the x squared. Well, this is just like your two-step equations. We're multiplying by a 3 and we're subtracting a 5. So if this was just 3x minus 5 equals 22, you guys would know how to solve that. So we're just following those same steps. We take care of any addition or subtraction first. We are going to add 5 to both sides. Carry down our 3x squared. 22 plus 5 is 27. Again, we're working on getting the x squared alone. It's being multiplied by a 3. So let's divide both sides by 3. And we get x squared equals 27 divided by 3 is 9. And then there's one of those solve by inspection. What do we square to get a 9? Because 9 is a perfect square, this is probably one we're familiar with. We know that x can be a 3, but don't forget it can also be a negative 3. So positive or negative 3. All right, so let's try another one. We are isolating our radical. Here's the x squared. It's being multiplied by a negative 5, and we are subtracting a 19 from it. So undo the addition or subtraction first. So we're going to add 19. Negative 5x squared equals 144 plus 19 is 163. Still working on getting the x squared alone. It's being multiplied by negative 5, so let's divide by negative 5. Those cancel, leaving us with x squared equals. Now, what we have here is kind of a random fraction, but what we want to notice is we have a positive 163 divided by a negative 5. So whatever that is, it doesn't divide evenly, but that is going to be a negative fraction because we have a positive divided by a negative gives us a negative fraction. So what number can we square to get a negative result? No number. Remember, every time you square something, we should have a positive answer. When that doesn't happen, that means there is no real solution. All right, last one. Here's our x squared. We're going to isolate that by subtracting 17 first. 3x squared equals 209 minus 17 is 192. Now we will divide both sides by 3. 192 divided by 3 is 64. Oh, well, what do we square to get a 64? 8 and negative 8, so plus or minus 8. You can square root both sides. Type that into your calculator, square root of 64, if that helps you get to that 8. No problem with that at all. But it's also okay to say, oh, well, I know what number I can square to 64, and just getting to that answer without writing up that work. That's okay on these as well.